if you minimize the reason that we came here for, there may no longer be a reason to come here.
I mean, and there's racial undertones with that.
Oh, you think so?
I know so. Everybody knows so. She said the attention we're getting in the WNBA is not because of one player.
I'm calling cap.
Yeah, it's just been more attention than ever on this WNBA season. And a lot of it is because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
But it's just been a lot of talk because, I mean, of course, Caitlin Clark, she broke, she's an all-time lead scorer in NCAA history.
Yeah.
Broke plenty of records in college, just countless amount of records, right? Number one pick. She's a star, right? And she's brought a lot of attention to the league. But it's just been, I mean, now they've got like private flights. And, you know what I mean? They're just kind of upgrading a little bit. And a lot of people are saying like it's due to Caitlin. And then there are some women in the league that are like, Caitlin's a great player, but all this ain't.
Yeah.
She's not just the only one responsible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're selling out games too. Angel Reese, some of these other girls, So, I mean, Caitlin is definitely at the forefront of the class of new rookies that have brought the attention to the league. I mean, because she's a star. I mean, all of her games, I mean, people are buying tickets. I mean, just like in college, her games were selling out.
Yeah.
Her jersey sold out on draft night. Their season tickets probably sold out. All her games on national TV. You know what I mean? So somebody said her team is straight doo-doo. They are. That's why they had the number one pick. You know what I'm saying? But she's definitely at the forefront. Back to what I was saying. She's definitely at the forefront of the WNBA being so highly anticipated and highly viewed this season. Yeah. Now, I do agree that there are other girls, ladies that people are watching. Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Cameron Brink. You know any of these names? I don't know.
Angel Reese.
That's it?
Yeah. And this is the thing. I want to be as respectful as possible because I know these are professional athletes.
No, for sure.
And I know they do a really good job. But if you're just asking me, like, respectfully, no, I have not.
Yeah.
And respectfully, since Caitlin Clark has been in it, it makes me want to, though.
Yeah.
It makes me want to tap into it. But yeah.
But to your point, since Caitlin Clark is in it, you said since Caitlin Clark is in it, you want to tap in.
Yeah.
That's why she's been getting the attention she has. Because it's always to sell tickets and in sports, right? You have to be a showman. It's a difference between, and I think we've talked about this on some pod episodes. Yeah. It's a difference in being good at something and then being a show.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Something people, you sell tickets being she's a show. Like the way she plays is a show. She plays to the crowd. She shoots from half court. It's a show.
It's exactly right. I agree.
Like you saying you don't watch the WNBA, but she makes me want to watch. That's why. You know. So, and it's also been talked, other than people, saying she's solely responsible for all the, viewership and tickets, and revenue coming in. People are saying that, man, they're going at her too hard because they're going to get her hurt. Yeah. She's got all this, she's brought all this stuff to the league and then they're going to get her hurt. I don't agree with that because, they're competitors at the end of the day, right? Like,
so you're saying you don't agree that people are intentionally trying to hurt her?
I think
you think she's just getting normal rookie treatment from her competitors. That is not from the media. From we know what type of attention she's getting from media. You think from her competitors and other teams, she's getting normal rookie treatment?
For the most part,
because it's gonna play into when we dissect the incident that she had.
You talking about the Kennedy Carter?
Yeah,
that was different. That wasn't normal.
We can get into that, but
that wasn't that instance wasn't normal. But as far as people just playing like super hard defense on her stuff, that's normal.
Yeah,
that's normal. I mean, you got to think, bro. Human nature. I mean, they're competitors, right? You got this girl that was in college breaking all these records, scoring all these points, and then you come to the big leagues with pros that have been playing for years, they're not just gonna let her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not just gonna let her come in and do what she did in college. Or if for one, it's not gonna be that easy. It's gonna be a transition period. They're not just gonna. You know what I mean? If you've been the best players in the world at the highest level for years, you're not gonna let this girl from college come in and just do what she did in college. You're not.
On a much smaller scale, it actually reminds me of when Lonzo Ball first got into the league, and more so not because he was deemed the greatest rookie of all time, but because of how his dad was talking like, oh, he'll beat Steph Curry and this, that, and the third. Do you remember how Patrick Beverly played him the first time he played him? And he fouled him a couple times pretty hard. It kind of reminds me of that, but I know these are on much different spectrums because she actually, no disrespect to Lonzo, I love Lonzo and stuff, his game and all of that. When you think of her, you think like, nah, she could be the face of the league for sure. And she ain't even played a full season yet.
Well, it just puts a target on your back. You know what I mean? Like when people gas you and things like that. Like I've heard people say, I have nothing against Caitlyn, but it's her fans.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Somebody said how many teams are there in the WNBA? It's 12. And actually expanding, they announced.
So you really were you tapped into the WNBA before Caitlyn?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting perspective. You might be one of my only guy friends who I've known that to be true about.
Yeah. No, I definitely have. I love the game, period. You know what I mean? So I've just always watched. I mean, a lot of people have different opinions about women's basketball and you know, because, you know, they're not, you know, as athletic and dunking. And so it's you really have to watch for, you know, skill and things like that. But no, I've always watched. That's why this has been exciting just seeing how the league is starting to grow and, you know, it's upcoming ladies coming, Juju Watkins and this younger, you know, for years to come, women's basketball is going to be in a good place. So
you think so?
I think so, yeah.
I think they're making the effort for it to be. I am a little concerned about if it will be for this one reason that we're about to talk about with the Kennedy Carter. When you bite the hand that feeds you, it's problematic. I'm going to speak on that. I'm going to be a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
I think the narrative that a lot of women in the league are not liking is that Caitlin Clark is the WNBA. That's why we want to see the WNBA, because they've been making statements like, we're here too. Like we play, we put the groundwork down for her to be here. So like respect us too. However, the way it's perceived is that y'all are attacking her because of the narrative that is out about that.
So you're saying it's the narrative that people are making in the media. It's not Caitlin. So you're saying people are attacking Caitlin?
And appreciate you for the super chat, LS Photography. Appreciate you for the love. And I know you said go Celtics, which we're going to talk about that tonight too. Appreciate you so much for that love. But yeah, I feel like you have a young star that's coming in and it's good for y'all. But instead of embracing that, it's like, you know, bump her. It's us too.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Like they're competitors, you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying, biting the hand that feeds you. And I don't know if overall.
Now, what do you mean by biting the hand that feeds you? That's
like if you kill one of your own, if you minimize the reason that we came here for, there may no longer be a reason to come here. Like, so for instance, if y'all hurt her in the game and she can't play for like half the season, whatever the case may be, then all the people y'all are mad about, like, why weren't y'all here, won't be there because she's not there.
I mean,
so we won't be able to see how good some of the rest of y'all are if y'all injure her in the effort to prove that she ain't nothing.
Well, first I want to say, injuring it shouldn't be. That nobody should be aiming to injure anybody.
I don't think that's anybody's aim, but when you do things outside of the game, that's within the game too. That's always an issue.
I mean, we could talk about the Kennedy Carter situation. That's an outlier, but.
And she's a dog too, like she said. Kennedy is a dog. But with all respect, she can hoop.
What do you suggest? That they take it easy on her?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they take it easy. I think the rules are in place for a reason. If it's a foul, it's a foul. You have 5 or 6 to give in a game. So I mean, yeah, use them strategically, use them wisely. I don't think you should ever use any of them to hurt anybody, but use them within the confines of the game for sure. And if you do anything outside of that, there's rules in place to penalize players for that. All I'm saying is it does feel like, you know how people got the us versus everybody? It does feel like Caitlin Clark versus everybody type of deal when it comes to understanding how important and impactful she is to the league.
I don't think anybody's denying it. It's just like you said, like if you got players that have been the best players in the world and laid the groundwork and been a pro for years, I mean, and you have this freshman, rookie. Come into the league, it's like and people just acting like she made the WNBA. It's just a narrative. They're not gonna let that fly. You know what I mean? Imagine if you've been playing in the league for 10 years, and you got this rookie come in that's exciting, and everybody's like, "Oh, y'all owe everything to her." They're not gonna let that fly. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have to let that fly, but business is business. And didn't they say one of their games was selling out more than like a Lakers game or something crazy like that? Or had more people in attendance than one of the Lakers games or something wild like that? So like, what I mean by that is, so do you feel like they're being disrespected in an effort to uplift Caitlyn?
You said what?
Do you feel like the way media is talking about her, promoting her, marketing her is disrespectful to the other players that have already been there?
A little bit, depending on who it is. I mean, I think they definitely need to promote Caitlyn, and she's definitely earned everything. Like, I don't, you know what I mean, have anything bad to say about Caitlyn as a player or anything, you know what I mean? I mean, you got, like, somebody said Asia Wilson. Somebody said something about Asia Wilson. Like, she should already had a signature shoe. Now, I know they're working on it for next year, but it's like, you know, now the news broke as soon as Caitlyn was drafted.
Yep.
That in her Nike contract, she's getting a signature shoe. And then people were like, whoa, what about Asia Wilson? What about so? And then after that, it came out that, oh, Asia's going to have a shoe next year. So was it because Caitlyn was getting a shoe that kind of lit a fire under Nike? Like, hey, you know what I mean? I don't know. Well, it could have already been in the works. I don't know. I just know that there are other competitors in the league, and they're not just going to. She's got a target on her back regardless. You know what I mean? And she's not even outspoken. You mentioned LeVar Ball. I mean, he put a target on Lonzo's back. You know what I'm saying? Like, when that's just human nature, bro. As a competitor, it's, you know.
I've so into that though, like you mentioned that LeVar put a target on Lonzo's back. I don't necessarily believe Caitlyn put a target on her back outside of being extremely good in basketball, but I have heard she can talk a little bit.
I'm sure she can.
I've heard she could talk a little bit. So we'll never know some of the things that have been or have not been said. I've heard she could talk a little bit, although some people are strategic with it. That you look and it's like, what? I ain't seen nothing.
I mean,
it's an art. It's an art to it. It's a craft to it.
She's a competitor too. I'm sure she is out there talking crazy.
So and this is how I think about it. Without knowing much about the WNBA women's basketball, some names that I associate with it are gonna be like Diana Taurasi, Candace Owens, you know what I'm saying, Skylar Diggins.
Candace Owens.
You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't have said Kobe Trump.
So
Candace Parker, my fault.
You know, Lisa retired. Retired.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about the game. I'm talking about the sport in itself. I know. Candace Parker, Brittany Griner, but actually more so recently Brittany Griner because of other stuff outside of the basketball. You know, because she had the little situation. So that's what I think of in regards to that. But do you feel like out of the names I have listed, I have not listed the cream of the crop?
You didn't say Asia Wilson?
That's why I was just being authentic. I was just being authentic to what I've been exposed to.
You name all-time greats. Everybody you named was some of the greatest.
Does it, when I said what I said, does it come off like somebody who's like, yeah, I love basketball. You're like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Did I sound like one of those guys from that standpoint?
No, because you named some, I mean, you named like more general, like all-time players. I mean, the only one that's not playing anymore that you named is Candace Parker, and she just retired.
And talking about this, because I know we got a few other things to discuss, and talking about this Caitlin Clark situation, you think she's overhyped? You think she is going to be, when it's all said and done, one of the greatest players to come out? Also, I know we hadn't talked about Angel Reese. I know you like her, her game and things that she got going on. Do you think that when it's all said and done, y'all will be like, yeah, I know y'all were saying, hey, give some respect on that, but she did turn out to be everything and more than what we thought she was going to be?
That's hard to say. I think individually, I mean, she definitely could be an all-time great. I don't think she's overhyped. She's earned all of the hype.
Yeah.
I mean, when you know, she's the all-time lead scorer in NCAA history. I mean, and you're just breaking all these records and stuff. I think it's definitely deserved.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All the hype. It's not like she's just, some player coming into the league that was okay, but they're boosting and stuff. I mean, she's earned all of it. I mean, how her career plays out, we'll see. I mean, she just had 30 tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, against the worst team in the league, but she started off the season playing like the strongest schedule. I think they played like 11 games in the first 20 days, you know what I mean, of the season or something. So it's like ladies coming into the league from college, they don't get an off season. They have to like declare for the draft. Like,
yeah, that was a quick turnaround from the draft to their first. Like,
you win a national championship, it's like the next day you have to be like,
it was something
hey
crazy
guys,
like that.
I'm going to the league. Unless you want to just go ahead and knock it out before and be like, hey, you know what I mean? They don't get a preseason where they can lift and get stronger and get acclimated and work out and stuff. They're going straight from college to WNBA. Another thing with Caitlin, all these growing pains and stuff, it's on the fly.
And I'll say this too, a few things. I think she might be the first women's basketball player who's like, I'm not gonna lie, I would like to have her jersey.
You would?
Yeah.
But a lot of people feel like
and I don't say this to put anybody else down. It was like, bro, she's crazy.
But a lot of people feel like that. That's why her jersey sold out the night she got drafted.
Exactly. What I'm saying though is, why can that not be okay instead of like, bro, we here too?
That is okay, but you gotta put yourself in the mind of a competitor, bro.
Oh, for sure. My way to combat that is I'm gonna beat you on the court.
So why do you think everybody going there? That's to my point, or to the point of what we've been saying. That's why everybody goes at it hard.
So what's the line between hard and like? We've already addressed that. I do feel like what Kennedy Carter did was too much.
It was too much?
Yeah. You feel like it's going to be more that this season?
I hope not. But I mean, because I thought that was excessive. But I mean, yeah, it's a line between playing hard and competitive and being dirty. That was just dirty. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then to her defense, she said, y'all need to go back and watch the stuff that happened prior to that before y'all judge me on that. And there's a famous clip of Vince Carter. You know what clip I'm talking about? When he smacked dude in the face.
I don't think I've seen that.
And then the guy turned around and like pushed him or something and ejected the dude. And the dude was like, bro, he just smacked me in my face. He just smacked me in my face. So I had to go back and check on what Kennedy said. But that clip to me has always been hilarious that he kind of got away with that situation. But I don't know if she did anything that egregious or not. We have not talked about Angel Reese a lot on this one. This is centric on Caitlin. It does seem like the narrative that is being pushed is Caitlin is the good guy, Angel is the bad guy. And it's like a movie that we're watching unfold.
But it's been that way. If we can go back to the episode of the pod I did, I spoke about that.
Yeah.
The national championship. I did a whole episode on that. It's always been that. I mean, and there's racial undertones with that.
Oh, you think so?
I know so. Everybody knows so.
Angel actually came out in one of her recent interviews and said, if I have to be the bad guy, I'm fine with playing that role.
Yeah, she's always said that. I mean, it's, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying like, people have to pick a side. I like both of them.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Angel's cold.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, she's outspoken. That makes people uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, and Angel's got a large following too. I mean, and I saw an interview they had with her. She said the attention we're getting in the WNBA is not because of one player. Like, basically, so I've got a following. I have people we've sold out games. People come to the games for me, which is true. Caitlin is I started this thing off. Caitlin is at the forefront of all of this. All of the attention they're getting, Caitlin is at the forefront.
I'm calling cap, bro.
But there's other ladies that are in the league that people are coming to see.
I'm calling cap.
On what?
On the blanket just the blanket statement, the attention that we're getting is not because of one player. I'm calling cap. Now, I know Angel has a huge following, and I do think her and Caitlin have been a crazy marketing and just a crazy force to bring to women's basketball. But I'm calling cap on the statement. All of the attention we're getting is not because of one player.
So if the Aces and the Sky play a game, which the Aces is Asia Wilson and them, the Chicago Sky is Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso and them. If that game sells out, that's because of Caitlin. Caitlin's not playing.
I think there are metrics that are hard to assess that Caitlin is bringing to the WNBA. Just in general, just the fact that some of the teams that you just mentioned, Some people may not even know who those teams are until this year because they decided to see Caitlin Clark and they'll see Caitlin playing against one of those teams. So if those teams ever end up going head to head, they end up watching it because of that. I do think it is kind of crazy to say that Caitlin has not brought a astronomical audience to the WNBA.
No one's questioning that.
I think they are. I think they're trying to minimize it. Somebody's saying everybody's not here for one reason. It's like we go to when we had the Nashville Pro-Am, certain players came on championship night and everybody was there. And so if somebody say, oh, yeah, it wasn't turned before they got here, cap.
I feel what you're saying. You're saying indirectly, Caitlin, even if Caitlin's not playing, indirectly she's brought people to the game.
And even going back to this point, if people thought that person would, people may come to the game I had people come up to me, yo, did you gonna be here today? That's why they were there. And that's why I say it's certain things you cannot assess because you don't know it. They pulled up just because they thought, they heard he was here last week and he might be here this week.
But that's different in the WNBA. Everybody plays for the same team. That's not the same as a pro-am.
Exactly, but they pulled up to games that they didn't know if anybody was going to be there at just because they would assume or had the hope that something else was going to happen.
For when?
They didn't know. It was no timetable.
You talking about a pro-am?
Yeah.
That's different, Addy.
Okay.
Rosters are established in the league. You know what I mean? You know who's coming to play every night. Pro-am is, who's going to show up? I heard so-and-so. So-and-so came last week. That's different than you got a set roster of players. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know who you're coming to pay to see every night. That's different.
True, but here's a different one. Here's one on the same thing. Somebody may come to see that and then fall in love with the league after. That's closer to what I'm bringing up. They may have come to a game. Prime example, you may have go to a WNBA game to see Caitlin Clark and be like, it's cool over here. I like the game, I like the vibe, I like the halftime entertainment. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to more games. Do you feel like Angel has brought more people to the WNBA than Caitlin as far as fans?
No, but
do you think it's close?
I don't know the numbers, but Angel has brought
just assumption. Yeah, I'm not finna hold you down to like you said it was X amount of people.
No. I mean, I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? But Angel has brought people, but no, it's not as many as Caitlin. No, Angel has a following though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I don't know how many followers she have on Instagram. Like 3 million, 3 million. I mean,
it gotta have some M's on it.
But you know what I mean? Like she's a figure. She's a character. And she's a brand. You know what I mean? Like. And that's what she was saying, like, and that's she's brought celebrities. You know what I mean? She's brought celebrities to the game too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what she was saying from her perspective. Now, is it on Caitlin's level? No.
I'm not saying it's not. I just know that sometimes this actually even goes into politics. When people don't like the opposite side so much, they'll just hop on the opposing side. Not so much because they actually like that person, but they feel like I'm a rock with whoever I feel like can take that person down. On either side, I feel like both of these women have fans because of that logic.
Yeah.
And there are people who genuinely like them because of, they love their game and things of that nature. But I think sometimes people get pit against each other who they were just trying to hoop.
Yeah. Somebody says sounds like you have a major bias. I don't have a bias on either side. I don't know if that was directed at me or Eddie. I don't have a bias on either side. And then they said Angel has more Instagram followers than Caitlin. So that's my point.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's two different brands. Now, basketball, Caitlin's is more. Now, they're both great players.
Shout out to that follow.
They're both great players. Caitlin is more just strictly basketball. Angel is a figure. She's a brand off the court as well. You know what I mean? So that attracts more, young girls, ladies. You know what I mean?
And
guys that may like her.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean? So it's just that plays into it. So it's not. You know what I mean?
That's a great. That
somebody said Angel bad. Of course, she got more. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? So
that actually, what you just said is a great point. And I think if you translate that to the NBA, that's why there's certain guys in the NBA who are the truth, but it's easier to market somebody who's. Qualin is a great example.
That's what I was gonna say. Marketing. Like you could be a great player, but can we market you? Can we market your personality? Can we? You know what I mean? Angel is a personality. Like
And finding a full package sometimes is hard. That's why certain artists are who they are. And that's why there's sometimes a dime a dozen.
That's another reason why, and this is why I'm saying a lot of the attention is on it, and this just isn't for Caitlyn. There are a lot of attractive rookies in the WNBA this year. That's drawing more eyes. You know what I mean?
And that's unfair too. I feel like a lot of times.
It's unfair?
My fault. I feel like that part is unfair more than the talent part. What I mean by that is a lot of times, like whether it be IG or certain things, a lot of people will know certain girl hoopers because of how they look, not because of how they play.
You said you think that's unfair though?
Unfair from the stance of if that's how you judge it. But I mean, like I said, business is business. People are going to market what they market. Now, I'm not saying, and with that being said, I'm not saying anybody should market anything based off of sex appeal or things of that nature. But, you know, they're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. You know what I mean? And Caitlyn's not we're not going to get into who looks the best and stuff like that. But it's like
not doing that.
I'm saying the main girls that they talk about being the attractive ladies and being the watch, it isn't Caitlyn, which, you know, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like the when I get online, when I get on Twitter, and I see people talking about the attractive ladies in the WNBA and why they were watching, it's not Caitlyn, which is fine. They're basketball players. They don't, you know what I mean? I'm not here to talk about who's looks better, but I'm saying, like, as far as that, bringing eyes.
Yeah.
That's people other than Caitlyn. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that plays into, now people are coming to see Caitlyn because she's excited. Okay. But people also watching games, buying tickets to see these other ladies. You know what I mean? Whether that's because they have a following because of their brand, like Angel Reese, or whether they're attractive or not. You know what I mean? It's just different factors into it. That's why I said from the beginning.
Somebody brings up a great point too, though.
That's why I said from the beginning, like, this season is going to be probably the highest revenue they've ever got, highest view. You know what I mean? Because of all this. It's a lot of different ladies.
Somebody brought up a good point in the chat. It's actually because of Caitlyn that I got privy to Juju Watkins. And because I started looking more, and because I started looking more, I know this is going to sound, because I started looking at more women's basketball highlights because of Caitlyn, her highlights started coming up on my feed. That's why I say there's certain metrics you don't know how to assess them because of things of that nature. I would have never saw, now I'm not the Lord, I do not think that would have came to my forefront as much had I not been watching other, dang, Caitlyn just had 40 something. Let me check out these highlights. And then the next video that kind of gets promoted by that is either another Caitlyn video or Juju dropped like 50 something or 40 something. Like, oh snap, who is this? You know what I'm saying? So that's why.
I feel what you're saying. I mean, you know, you saying Caitlyn indirectly is drawing people to everybody else. You come for Caitlyn and then you end up finding about everybody else is what you're saying.
Yes, I don't want to minimize that part of it. Now, it would be different if she was coming out there saying, "Yeah, I'm in the W, ain't nobody here." If it wasn't for me, all right, you tripping. But if she's not saying that, it kind of sounds like, oh, you feeling some type of way. Now, whether you're obliged to feel some type of way or not, I mean, that's on you. But to everybody else, it feels like, you know, you're a little salty about that, huh?
I mean, I don't know. I get it. There are other ladies that people want to see. And even the players that have been in the league for years, they're like, we're here too. I get both sides.
Two final questions to end out this section. Do you feel like, regardless of what a team's needs are, that Caitlyn was such a good player that you draft her first anyway?
I think some players are special enough to where you have to take them number one, or with your pick, you have to.
So if you're a GM or whatever, are you taking Caitlyn? Regardless of if you already got great shooting guards, point guards on the team, are you taking her?
For multiple reasons.
So you would take her instead of Angel?
Yeah.
So essentially you're saying you would be stupid not to take Caitlyn Clark.
I mean, you have to for multiple reasons. One, she's going to put butts in seats.
Yeah.
And then she's a special type player.